Okay, I was talking about The Force Awakens and how I'm gonna try to go to a late show. In Austin, as I was saying in a previous video, in Austin we've got the Alamo Drafthouse chain of theaters, which has reserved only seating. We've got all the other theaters. We've got the Regal, we've got AMC, we've got Cinemark, which is huge. We've got all those other chains and stuff, and so I'm probably going to go I'm curious to see if they're going to have like 2 a.m., 4 a.m. screens like they did with Avatar and Titanic, and that type of thing, where they were running the movies like 24 hours a day almost. I have a feeling with Star Wars they will. I think I did see some early Star Wars screenings on the Drafthouse website, but in any case, one thing that I started thinking about, and I've thought about this for a while, is the death of the midnight movie. Something that cult movie horror fans love is the midnight movie. And the midnight movie, in quotes, it doesn't really exist anymore. I mean, literally, a movie that's showtime is at midnight doesn't really exist, man. Really. I mean, most of the movies start at 10, 11, or earlier. And I mean, I can understand this. I can understand from a business level there are probably a lot of reasons why you'd want to start a movie earlier. Because if you start the movie earlier, you get the audience and the crew out the door finished a lot earlier than you would if you started at midnight, At the same time, there's something about a midnight screening, that is a little bit different than a 10 o'clock or 10:30 or an 11 o'clock screening. There's just a different crowd. There's a different audience. There's a different vibe, in the case of the Drafthouse, I mean, I just started looking back, and it's difficult on the internet to find old screening dates. But you can, if you dig, you find that up until a few years ago, Terror Tuesday and Weird Wednesday, or as it used to be, I think Terror Thursday, they would show stuff at midnight all the time, And then when I moved here, it seemed like they were still showing more stuff at midnight. And they would start like film marathons and things They would frequently start them at midnight. And, probably for a number of financial business reasons, they keep starting the Terror Tuesday and Weird Wednesday screenings earlier and earlier. Some of them are pushing like 9:45, Most of them are starting between 10 and 10:30, sometimes 11, depending upon the length of the movie. I think that sucks, personally. I think there is just a different audience at midnight. It's people who really want to be there, people who are really into that type of movie, and kind of kindred spirits in a way. Maybe not really, but people who are night hawks, who are okay with getting out of the movie theater at 2 a.m. versus people who are, kind of like, okay, we'll go there at 9 or 10 and then, be home by, 11:30, midnight, 12:30, Those are, weekend warrior types. Those are, just the passive. It's not groovy, It's not. They keep starting these shows earlier and earlier, and to be honest, also, I kind of like midnight because, you're through with all your business. Sometimes some people, and many times when I've been working at jobs or working my personal projects, I don't get everything kind of fixed and done until 10, and then I can go off to my midnight movie. I think the 9 to screenings that kind of start at 9 or 10 o'clock, they kind of encourage more the 9 to 5 crowd, which I think is probably a better thing to do. It encourages the 9 to 5 more responsible crowd. It brings them in, because they're able to leave earlier and go to bed earlier and get up earlier and all this stuff earlier. But to me, again, I think it's a crime. It's a shame, And I've seen this happen all over, every place I've gone as far as movies, that the movies just keep showing. I think I noted this. I started noticing this in the late 90s. It just, like, the movies were the late showings were starting earlier and earlier and earlier. It was like the midnight movie has been replaced by the 11:15 movie, pretty much. Which sucks, because in the late 80s you had that Midnight Movie Express, where they would show, like, they had, I think it was like across multiple chains, they would have this art and they would show heavy metal, Rocky Horror. All the hell wants to see? I think Rocky Horror, it may start at 11:45 or midnight here, because there is still one theater in Austin, the Cool Theater, the hip village, the Village Austin Draft House location, that still shows Rocky Horror. I don't think they show it at midnight. They may. I don't know. How can you see Rocky Horror at 11 o'clock? Rocky Horror is a midnight movie, Heavy Metal is a midnight movie, You can even put Full Metal Jacket as a midnight movie. Death Wish, midnight movie. In the late 80s, they would show, like, Death Wish 4. The Crackdown, midnight movie, midnight movie, Then, I mean, of course, the midnight movies of yore, the Night of the Living Dead, the El Topos, the Holy Mountains, the Pink Flamingos, all this stuff, I don't know. This is a constant fight. This has been a constant thing. I just thought I would bring it up. Maybe nobody cares. Doesn't really matter. I think the main thing that where I feel it matters is, it's not just a matter of semantics, is that the midnight audience is a lot rowdier, a lot cooler, a lot crazier. They may or may not be cooler or crazier, but they're just different than your ordinary 9 to 5 crowd who can swing a 9 or 10 or 11 o'clock screening. So there it is, my thoughts on the midnight movie, and hopefully the midnight movie can come back. Maybe it won't, maybe it can't. I don't know. I don't know if you care. Let me know if you care. Let me know if you don't care. There it is.